advertising network company.
I don't know if Facebook may not like that we have found a way to beat the system, but we'll always find a way to beat the system. Right?
You're like Merle Haggard, and I'm Chris Christopherson.
No. Okay, guys, it's Wednesday, 1 o'clock. That means it's time for Real Estate 101. We're coming at you live from AKA the Weatherman's, the entertainer, the best entertainer in real estate, my sidekick. Hula hooping. Every Wednesday, no matter what. It doesn't matter if Facebook's trying to pull the plug on me. Watch them shoot me down. Facebook is out to get us. We did a little illegal stunt last night where Kathleen, she posted a video with Eric Church singing, and they cut her throat.
Even though me and Eric are big buddies.
Y'all are big buddies. So,
and he said it was okay.
So everybody, please like, please share the stream, please ask comments. Today, we're going to talk about home affordability. Before we get started, the Weatherman has a few things that he always says.
I do. And hey, we got a lot of great sponsors, but I got a little twist this week, and they're not really on our sponsorship board, and we're going to get back to those, and you all know who you are. But this week, we want to kind of, since we're talking about this, Old South Properties and Ben Blake and John Floyd and those guys over there, they're a big supporter of what GTT does. This is right in your wheelhouse of what we're talking about today. We want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of what y'all are doing, and the Richardson Group. And these are just local builders in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. One of them is a big first-time home builder, and then the other one is over, probably in the 400 range.
Quasi-custom home builder.
But, hey, both of those builders, thank you so much. We really appreciate everything you do for our company.
Out looking at one of Joe Rich's houses, Roy Frazier's on here.
Melinda
Andrew, hey, the woman that we can't get our loans done without. The best in the business, Miss Melinda Andrew.
Or the white rhinoceros.
The what? What do they do?
They'll run you over, attack you, and take
white rhinoceros.
And they're beautiful to look at.
Hey, Belinda is beautiful. Hey, we love you, Belinda. So today we're talking about home affordability. Stevie Z, get it quiet over there, friend. Today we're in front of a live studio audience, and it's jam-packed. Stevie, thank you for getting on here. Please share the word. Please tell everybody that we're the greatest, along with Belinda and Roy Frazier. They're also the greatest. You're the greatest. Cousin Charlie, you're the greatest. Kathleen, you're the greatest. So today, this topic was actually put on one of our posts where I thought it was a genius thing for me to steal. Genius. I'm going to take credit. I cannot remember the guy's name, but he just asked a quote or a question. He was watching Real Estate 101 last week, and he asked this question. Has the real estate market, prices going up so much, has it caused middle-class America to overextend?
All right, so I think what we need to do before we start is in our opinion, and every median is different. If you want to know what the median is of your county, Google it. It'll tell you. So and we're in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, home of 130-something thousand people who we want everyone to know who this guy is. So what is your opinion of our middle class? What's a middle class income for a family, would you think?
Weatherman, that is got
to be maybe 90 to 120?
I don't think it's, no.
Think it's less?
Yes. I think median household income in our county is probably 50-ish.
50, okay.
Probably 50,000.
Hey, so there you go.
We could Google. We got a research department here who could Google.
So that's kind of what you're talking about, though, as far as the middle class and the types of homes.
And this guy posed the question, what has it caused people to buy houses that have gone up to where they can't
afford them?
That's right. Rutherford County. Keep talking.
And so while he looks those up, and we had lunch with Joe Haker today, and give him a plug because he brought a great thing up to me and Tommy at lunch. So what
55,000.
55,000, exactly what I said. So what we was looking at is about 4 or 5 months ago, people are looking at houses. They can't really find nothing. They think they want a house. They can't decide. Well, now 4 months later, they're like, hey, I want that house. I want to find one just like it. But guess what happens? That house has went up $30,000 because our market has literally moved that fast, that quick. Now that same house they was looking at 4 months ago is almost priced out of their budget. And he made a great point, and that's what we're dealing with a lot with buyers right now, because you can't find anything. They want to make a move, they don't pull the trigger. A few months later, they're ready to pull the trigger, and boom, they about priced themselves out of the market.
Okay, so 3 components, great content, Weatherman, the entertainer.
The entertainer.
The best entertainer. We got pictures to prove it. There's 3 components we're going to discuss that determine affordability. And Belinda Ander, if you could tell us this, what are like the average 30-year fixed rates, because that's one of them. Number 1 is the median home price. What do we think the median, can anybody here guess the median home price?
$225.
I'd say 198.
I'd say,
$199.
I'm going to say 240.
I'm always going to say
198. 198,000. Okay, so do we understand
Hey,
how
hold on. Who said that?
the greatest? Do you know what average? Do you know what median? Do you understand how that works? Well, let me explain that in case you don't know. Okay, so if we were to do average, let's just say if we were to do the average personal income of this room, and then let's say Bill Gates walks in here, what would that do to our average?
Ooh, rise.
So average can greatly skew numbers. So what's probably the best indicator is median. Median would be if Bill Gates walked in, then we got you, me, and then we pick the one right there in the middle. That is more accurate whenever you're doing like how much appreciation we've had in Murfreesboro, how much our incomes. So median home price, and we just did that. Our research department tells us it's $198,000. That's what the middle home would be for in Rutherford County. Belinda, okay, so rates are based on several factors, but to calculate payment, 3.875. That's number 2. Median home price is 1. Average 30-year fixed rate. Belinda Ander, Iberia Bank says it's 3.875 is the average for a 30-year rate right now.
And she does have that disclaimer. It is based on a few things. Debt ratio, probably credit score. I'm assuming there's some things in there that a lender could tell you more accurate than we do. But so
not just any lender.
Not just any lender. Our lender.
Our girl. Median household monthly income is the 3rd component of affordability. So if the average or the median income is $55,000, that's about 5,000 would be 60. So right under $5,000 a month. Woo, is how much you got. Then if you got $5,000 a month, let's just use $5,000 a month. If you go FHA, you can roughly buy about half of that. So then you got to factor in all your other debts, how much you got coming out.
So when you mean that, so if you grow 2,500,
boy, Belinda is on it today.
So and it's about 45 to 47%, I think, with FHA and the different loans. Like USD, I think it's like 21, something crazy now. But so if you have $5,000 no debt, then you could qualify for a $2,500 a month note. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
and that's just a 50%.
We would need Belinda on here to get more into.
But just estimate, not holding us to it. But that's kind of what you're talking about,
yeah,
right?
but I mean, there may be some other things that they're going to say. This has got to go in there. Like if you were being qualified by a commercial banker, they're going to say, look, you've got some expenses that come out every month.
Right.
So they're going to factor, hey, we got a new guest in the audience. Thank you so much. So nationwide. Are you cheating again?
I can't read that.
Since 2011, do you know what the nationwide price is, how much it's up?
I'm going to, can I guess?
Yeah. No, not first.
Okay.
You.
Since when? Say it.
Since 2011. Let's say the bottom happened in 2011.
40%.
Charlie. Wake up, cousin Charlie. What are you doing?
45%.
45%, Kathleen.
48,000.
48,000%. Heather.
No, $48,000.
Does anybody else have a guess?
Me?
Looks like our.
Do I get the guess?
Yeah.
Stevie's right. It's about 40%.
It's 40%. So home prices, the median price has gone up 40%. So here's what I believe what people have to understand when we're talking about affordability. And we're going to use Old South Properties, for example. Back in, let's say, the early to mid-2000s, Old South could build a home that was 1,400 square feet. Actually, 1,200 square feet. Okay? Well, their lot cost has not gone up. They've owned that land for several years. So now they cannot build the same product. They cannot build a 1242 car garage like they could back then. 10 years ago, they could build. Chris Oxshire, maybe I shouldn't say it, he bought a house over there, 1240 plan, and I think he paid maybe $106,000.
Wow.
Today, they don't even offer that plan because they can't afford to build it and keep it anywhere in price per square foot value. So what they've done is now they start to. Where are you going, Stevie?
I get my drink.
Now what they're doing is they're building 1,800 square foot houses. So now everything they're doing, it's in Creeks Bend, for example. I remember back when we were advertising $139,900. Now, what is the cheapest thing we've got in Creeks Bend?
I'm right at 230, 227, but you'd say 230.
Okay, so that is our starter home price. So when we're talking about affordability, we no longer have a product out there that's 1,200 square foot. Now, to get in a starter home, you're either going to a townhome or you're going to a larger first-time home like a 1726 or a 1824 or something like that. Wait a minute. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at a picture of you and mesmerized.
Because I'm the greatest.
Do that.
So, whenever people are talking about getting overextended, I think what they're thinking, Charlie, let's ask you, for example, would you think, hey, I just need to go out there and buy me we're going to talk to a guy today that wants to list his house, and how much do you think a 1250 house in Smyrna would go for? Vinyl, no garage.
What do you say?
180. 175.
48,000.
179,900.
But let's bring it in the back. 1,200 square foot, no garage in Smyrna. What would be a good guess of what the value of that house is? Nope.
150-ish.
See, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I think that's pretty close. No garage, I think it kind of takes away.
Well, me and Charlie looked it up, and I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's a 175 to 185. Think about that. I mean, I'm thinking this. I was looking. I'm like, man, he don't have a garage. He's vinyl. There is no way we're going to be able to go out here and say it's 180. But it was surprising how much it's gone up.
Which means there is no rhyme or reason to where the market is right now.
Well, you say that, but
You've been doing this a long time.
72 years.
And so whenever the prices change this quick, they change because of lack of inventory. They change
Right.
because of not only is there lack of inventory, people aren't having a hard time finding houses, guys.
Well-
They're having a hard time finding rental properties, apartments, or any of these
Yeah,
things.
so he's brought up a good point. To us, these prices are crazy. To us, there's no way we can sustain it. Nashville has 100 people a day moving here. When they're moving from other parts of the country, they feel like it's very affordable.
Yeah,
This
without
is-
doubt.
This is very affordable. Here's the other thing that's really hurting our first-time home buyers, or I hate to use that term first-time. We have more buyers than sellers. We sure do, Belinda. Think about this. Whenever you sell a home, Cousin Charlie, if you want to sell your home, and if it's between this threshold, I can guarantee you I can get you an offer within an hour, cash. If it's between probably 1,200 and 2,000 square feet, and if it's got a 2-car garage, 3 and 2, I can almost guarantee you can call up an agent that represents a hedge fund, and they're going to buy your house. So I calculated at least since 2011, there's been 1,000 or more purchases made by funds, whatever you want to call them. They pulled money together either from Wall Street or bigger investment companies, and they're going out there and they're buying these homes for. They make things very easy for the seller, almost full price, if not full price.
And they're buying in bulk, so they're not buying one or two. They're buying a bunch. So that way they get this rate of return, and that's why they can do it.
And to his point, most of their agents don't even go out there and look at the house. on one of those listings we had last week, you'll get an offer come over that's
Never even seen that.
like, who the hell is this person? I didn't even know they went over there. Kathleen, you know getting on here? So they're making the terms so easy on buyers. No financing. They're very, very loose on their inspections.
Yes.
So now if let's say a home buyer gets to go in, they find a house, they feel like they're overpaying, then they pick the sellers apart over, hey, I want this fixed, I want this fixed, or I ain't gonna buy it. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, this is gonna sound very insensitive. There's a line. It's like if you turn away your Starbucks cafe latte, well, I ain't taking this, and they're just gonna hand it to the person behind you or the next person behind you. So let's talk about getting overextended, because that was really the guy's question. So we're telling you this because I don't think this really matters as much, because you've got to, I don't see how home prices are going to be the thing that gets you overextended. That's my argument.
Right.
Because you still have to qualify at the same ratios. Now, if they start changing the ratios from, I think, Belinda, if you tell us like on FHA, I think you'll probably get exemptions or exceptions up into the low to mid 50%.
Yeah.
Now, if they started changing that to where you can qualify up to 60, 70% of your money, or the monies that you're bringing in a month, that can definitely get you overextended. So you're going to hear from me, a guy that knows how to get overextended as good as anybody. Because when the economy is going like it is, I don't care, unless you just have a job where your income never goes up because if it's a salary or something, I'm going to tell you, weatherman.
It don't cost the same today to eat Carrabba's as it did 3 years ago, does it?
I don't know.
No.
Does it not?
No, because we go up at lumber don't cost the same to build houses today, does it? Just like anything.
But Linda did say this, though. If you max out your entire debt ratio to the housing payment, you could overextend. Okay, so let's talk about ways I believe you're going to get overextended. And Joe Hafner brought up this point. I'm going to go ahead and steal it. It's not Joe Hafner's point. It's GTT's point. You miss out on hidden costs. Utilities. You don't think about that. You don't think about how much it costs to cut the yard. You don't think about all these things with home maintenance. You don't think about things. All you think about is your payment. And some people may not even think about their taxes or their insurance. They don't think about all those things. Can you think of something without looking at my notes, Weatherman?
No, I'm not looking, but you know, I know people's houses are paid off free and clear. Well, guess what? Your house is, you still, an average person on a $250,000 house is still going to have a bill every month of $1,200 to $1,500 for phone bills, water, cable, taxes, insurance, and so even though it's paid off, and so you add those on top of a mortgage, and that's kind of those things that we don't think about. Gas is not free to mow your yard, you know. So, and a lot of times people don't look at those.
You know, that was the one thing I really remember when I was going broke back in 2009. I had this, I think I still got that car. No, I've got a white, I think I still, I had that. I remember paying like $4.50 a gallon for gas. Who here remembers gas? And like, I remember people in parts of the country where they would run out of gas and not even go back and get the car. I heard of people running out of gas on the side of the road and not even worrying about it. Of course, they had loans. You know, they were still paying it. But that was what was going on. So you never, ever plan on getting overextended. So history should teach you, like me, Einstein right here, that can tell you, you don't plan on it. You don't see it coming a lot of times. The smart people, they don't get there because they put money into reserves so they can have cash. But that was not my mindset in 2009. 2007, 2008, I was buying real estate with 100% down, paying top dollar for it. Thinking, you know what, here's how I was forecasting it. Here's my little quote. I have never forecasted 5 years correctly. I have never forecasted 5 years correctly. So here's what I was thinking. 2008 or so, I'm buying this house by 2018, which it should be coming up right now. I should have X amount of dollars. None of those things worked out like I thought. None of them. Because I didn't factor in any downside risk. And I don't think people usually do that. I think we think with our rose-colored glasses and think, I made this amount of money and this is the way it's going to be. You've heard some of the things I'm thinking about doing or thought about doing.
One of the worst things you hear from clients, and it always, if you're a great agent, you tell them that's probably not the mindset at the end of the day, especially if you do your fiduciary duties or however you say the word, is this, is when I'm talking to a buyer and the house is a little bit more, and the house is a little bit more, and the first thing I hear is, well, we just want to eat out a couple times a month and we'll be okay. That's overextended, number one, because automatically that you're not going to stop eating out. I mean, once you get the new house and it wears off after about 6 months, you're still going to go Logan's. You're still going to do those things. And so that's kind of what happens. I don't care who you are. If you have kids, those little suckers are like ATM machines. They're going to be involved in gymnastics, soccer. And back when me and Tommy used to play baseball as a kid, it cost you about $25 to play baseball. You tell me where a kid can play baseball for $25 now.
How much is it?
Golly, it's hundreds, and they're not counting the tournaments and all the stuff. And if you have kids and you go to a soccer tournament, you have 2 kids that play, not counting the soccer dues, you're going to spend $100 a day minimum on drinks and snacks and all kinds. And so those are expenses that aren't really equivalated in to that 50%. That takes up 25 to 30% of your debt.
I remember one time I was complaining to my accountant. I mean, I was really pissed off. I mean, I was livid. Like, where in the hell is all my money going? She printed out my card receipts. And, I mean, I was looking through there, and I'm like, look, that was $4. That's $6. And then I had pages on it. Pages and pages. So often, we have no clue where our money's going. It's very, I mean, I think it's, Charlie, you probably have a budget, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you live on it? Charlie, you probably get in trouble if you go over your budget.
A little bit.
He couldn't even buy dessert last night. She looked at him. I say,
I'm going to have to get this approved. Think about how much better off all of our lives would be if we lived, you know, I'm never going to be like that Dave Ramsey envelope system, but think about how much different your life would be if you had total accountability of where all your money went. If there's money in that account, it's going somewhere. You know, Dave Ramsey accounts for every single, or he teaches to account for every single dollar, every place. Every one of my dollars are accounted on some poor investment of going out or doing something.
he said
I mean,
poor investments. Okay, I did hear that. So.
Yeah, poor investment,
Yeah.
emotional purchase.
But
Going. Hey, Brittany Renee, are you on here? Me and Brittany, I bought us some Fitbits. I wear mine. I don't ever see hers on.
the big thing about
Brittany Renee, why don't you wear your Fitbit?
the big thing about what we're talking about is have we outpriced the median house market? So if the housing market median is 198 and the median income is 55, you're already very, very tight right there, number wise. Mm-hmm. So if you want to qualify for a $200,000 house, I'm not for sure we're just making $55,000 if you can get that house.
Well, like Belinda said, if you go out and buy a car, think about what a car payment is over. I guess you can finance them for 7 years now.
They're still gonna be $400.
I mean, think about what that's doing. How easy that gets you over.
Right.
You get a credit card.
Yep.
Get your car. You bought that house, then the credit card offers will continue to come. The car offerings will still come. So, man, it is. I don't think if you plan and you just go out and buy a house, you're necessarily going to be overextended. I really think it's the other things that will get you overextended. Buying a car, running up the credit card, paying. I mean, you still got student loan debt. How many people in this country do you think have student loan debt?
70% of them went to school.
I mean, it's
And medical debt too is
medical debt.
is what could be.
So I remember when I went to college, my last semester, I poured out as much money as I could get.
Had a fun year, wasn't it?
It was a fun year. I think I poured out $10,000 because I was going to invest it in one of my buddy's dad's new bank. Bank of Murfreesboro starting. And I was going to be one of the co-founding. I was going to be one of the original investors with my 10 grand.
Did you invest in it?
And think about this. That bank was bought out. So I'd already forecasted how much money I was going to get back. Not in it. I remember invested in Puff and Billy's. Do you remember Puff and Billy's? I had a lot of my stake there. Do you remember Puff and Billy's?
I remember.
I remember a lot of my investment was in Main Street.
Buying that pig.
I had pretty good investment.
Think about where a lot of our investments have gone. Think about that. So, to answer, I wish I could remember his name. To answer the question, I do think it is getting more expensive to buy houses. And if you're locking in your home on a 30-year rate, right now, Belinda said it was 3.875. That's never going to change unless you refinance it. So if you stay in that house, most people are staying in their homes about. It's
not 7 years now, isn't it?
It's gone up a little bit, but historically it's going to be right around 5 years, 5 to 6 years. But if you stay there, you should make more money. What's going to get you in trouble is the more you borrow, the more expenses you take on, the more debt. That's why we've talked, Stevie, several times about, hey, it's a good time to cash in those chips, those earnings, and pay off. But you didn't have much debt that you want to pay off. Think about the person out there that's got a lot of student loan debt or medical. 42.3 million people have student loan, according to data. 42.3 million people.
Right here, I see average person is almost 38,000.
The average person is 38. Now, I don't know how they. I remember when Tim Dutton, we were going through all my debts, and this was probably in 2009. And I showed him all my debts, and I went in there, and he looked at me. He's like, "Tommy, you're 36 years old, and you still owe $10,000 on your student loans." I mean, he looked at me in pure disgust, like, "What's wrong with you?" But I mean, that's what happens. I mean, we're not even aware. We're kind of dead is like a frog, and he's already in the water, and you're turning it up. You don't even know how bad it is until you write them all down and then calculate how much money do you have per month going out. Think about this. It'd be easy to say, I'm going to go out and get this. Say it's a couple $100. Then, hey, I'm going to do this. Next thing you know, you're spending $700 or $800 a month on these little things that have added up. Like Dave Ramsey, I think, said, and I'm not the biggest Dave Ramsey guy, but I do think he provides very good information for people. Usually, when people get a raise, they go out and buy a new car. And all that raise went just for the new car. Now they got a car paid for. So, to answer the question, I really believe that people are very, very loose with their money. They don't protect it. They don't look at it. And they end up getting very overextended. Weatherman, my throat's giving out on me. Is there anything you'd like to add to us?
I think he pretty much touched everything.
Hey,
My throat's giving out.
Did you talk today?
Did
you say anything today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Davidson.
I just think our biggest topic was it's really tough for our median house market because investors are beating out the people. They can't afford to go over bid for these houses. They're losing out. And so until we get more of a balanced market, we're just in it for the long haul. And so the best thing to do, I think, you do is save up a little bit more to make your offers better. Be able to have money in the bank to buy these houses. And if things continue to go like they're going, you're going to get that money back. Nobody can ever guarantee what the market is, but if you look at the trend, it's still going this way. You know, and if you wait till it goes this way, chances are there's always a downside to it going down too, which means you're not going to get the value for your house if you need to sell one either. So if you're getting priced out of the market, do as Tommy said, cut back your expenses, save up some money, find some better loans that make more sense to you, and then don't get discouraged because you're not the only one in the position you're in right now. there's a lot of home buyers out there fighting the same fight. Don't feel better?
Feels a little bit better. Thank you. Hey, thank you for letting me borrow your stream. I got kicked off Facebook. The Facebook wouldn't let me broadcast with they can't think.
Facebook police.
They can't stop us, though. They can't stop us. So everybody, every Wednesday, all you weatherman people out there, every Wednesday we come to you live, 1 o'clock Central Standard Time for Real Estate 101. We're always looking for topics. I don't like talking financial stuff.
Yeah, we know.
So to me, this was really cool. So I appreciate everybody. Belinda, I appreciate you giving us some facts on here. We can always go. What is it? Loansbybelinda.com. We can always find out our information from loansbybelinda.com. Hey, we're gonna shut it down. Me and cousin Charlie gotta go. Whoop.
What's going on tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I sprung this on Brittany Renee today. That this idea came from me. Every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, I do a show called Straight from the Gut. Me and Cousin Charlie were riding around yesterday, and to make a long story short, Cousin Charlie said he made the decision of he wanted to bet on himself. He asked himself, when am I going to bet on me? He made that decision about 5 months ago. He finally got here this month. But Cousin Charlie, he decided to bet on him. So Thursday night, Straight from the Gut, I'm going to interview Brittany Renee and ask her when she decided to bet on herself. When did she decide she was going to make that leap of faith? And I'm going to really kind of have an interview format. So I'm going to ask her a series of questions about that. So tomorrow night on my face, will I be up and running by tomorrow night?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hey,
You borrow mine if not.
under any circumstances, is there any way I won't be up tomorrow?
No, you'll be out.
All right, go ahead and